You are in your 40s or 50s and the math feels brutal. Retirement calculators tell you that you are 10, maybe 15 years behind. Your savings look small, your mortgage feels huge, and every financial freedom video online seems aimed at 25-year-olds with no kids, no aging parents, and no real responsibilities. Here is the truth nobody told you. The decade directly in front of you can still do more for your net worth than the last 2 decades combined, if you follow a different rule. In this video, I am going to walk you through the 10-year compounding rule, a realistic decade play for adults who feel late, tired, and done with hype. If you want grounded guidance on compound interest, retirement planning, and real-world investment strategy for your 40s and 50s, make sure you subscribe right now. This channel exists for people exactly like you. You open a calculator, type in your age, your income, your savings, and it quietly tells you that by now, you should already have hundreds of thousands invested. You see your actual portfolio balance and feel your stomach drop. On top of that, there is the mortgage, rent, kids, maybe a divorce, student loans, and aging parents. It is not that you have been irresponsible. You have been living real life. But a story starts running in your head. I blew it, I am behind, and I will never catch up. That story is dangerous because it pushes you toward 2 extremes, denial or desperation. Denial says, it is too late, so what is the point of saving or investing? Desperation says, I need a shortcut, some aggressive stock market strategy or high-risk passive income play to catch up in a few years. This video is a third path, a rule-based 10-year plan that accepts where you are, uses the tools you still have, and focuses on building a stable wealth system instead of chasing fantasy-level returns. You are not 25, and that is fine. You have something better: experience, pattern recognition, and the ability to commit like an adult. When people talk about compound interest and long-term investing, they show smooth charts where the line gently curves upward over time. What they rarely explain is how brutally slow the early part feels in real life, especially if you are starting at 40, 45, or 50. In the first few years, almost all the growth in your investment account comes from your own contributions, not from the market or from compounding. You invest for 12 months, 18 months, maybe 2 years. And when you check your retirement account or brokerage account, the number looks disappointingly small. You say to yourself, at this pace, I am never going to reach financial independence. What you are staring at is the hidden phase of compounding, the part where the seeds are in the ground, but nothing visible has sprouted above the soil yet. Late starters often misread this phase as proof that investing does not work for them, so they rip up the seeds by stopping contributions, liquidating investments, or jumping to a new strategy. The 10-year compounding rule exists to protect you from that pattern. It tells you up front that the first few years are supposed to feel small and boring, and that the real acceleration arrives only if you let those early contributions stay in the ground undisturbed. Now let's confront the real pattern: why every attempt you made in the past collapsed around month 18. Think back to the last time you decided to get serious about money. Maybe you opened an index fund, set up a retirement account, or built a simple investment portfolio and started automatic deposits. For the first few months, you felt proud, like you were finally doing what all the personal finance experts talk about. Then month 12, 18, maybe 24 arrived, and 3 powerful forces showed up. First was disappointment. You had put in real money, yet your balance still felt underwhelming. Second was comparison. You looked at friends or online creators claiming 6-figure portfolios or impressive passive income streams, and suddenly your progress looked tiny. Third was temptation. That is when high-risk catch-up strategies start to sound attractive, from speculative stocks to options trading to get-rich-quick real estate deals. So you paused contributions, or cashed out, or chased a different investment strategy entirely, hoping for a faster result. That cycle is not a character flaw, it is a misunderstanding of how compounding behaves in the first couple of years. Once you see that, you can stop judging yourself and start designing a decade that keeps you in the game long enough to see compounding actually work. By the way, if this perspective aligns with your approach to money and long-term freedom, comment the word long game below. I read every one of them. Now let's define the principle that governs long-term acceleration. Here is the core principle that reshapes everything. The 10-year compounding rule says you commit one full decade, 10 clean years, to a boring, mechanical wealth-building system. You remove the pressure to be a genius, you avoid hero trades, and you eliminate catch-up gambling from your financial plan. You do not judge your results at year 1 or year 2, you only judge them at year 7 and year 10. In practice, this means you select a simple, diversified investment strategy you actually understand, such as low-cost index funds inside retirement accounts or tax-efficient brokerage accounts, and you automate contributions every single month. You treat those contributions the way you treat rent or utilities, non-negotiable. The real transformation is psychological. You stop asking, "Is this working yet?" and instead ask, "Is my system running?" You understand that your wealth creation now comes from consistent behavior, not constant optimization. This rule does not guarantee you will end up wealthy, but it does guarantee that your retirement planning, your net worth, and your financial security will look radically better than if you spend another decade jumping in and out of strategies. It moves you from reacting to the market to owning a long-term plan. Let us talk about the part that should calm your nervous system. Starting at 40, 45, or even 55 is not a financial death sentence. In many ways, you have advantages that younger investors do not. First, your earning power is usually higher. You may be in your peak income years, which means every month of disciplined saving and investing carries more fuel. A 10-year window with strong contributions to retirement accounts, index funds, or a balanced portfolio can still dramatically shift your net worth and your future cash flow. Second, you have a maturity premium. You have lived through market cycles, economic downturns, and financial hype. You have seen crypto bubbles, meme stocks, housing booms, and recessions. That experience gives you a stronger filter for risk management and a better ability to ignore noise. Third, your goals are clearer. In your 20s, the fantasy might have been early retirement and luxury. In your 40s and 50s, the real goal is stability, dignity, and choice. The ability to reduce hours, change careers, or support family without panic. So yes, you are late relative to an idealized timeline, but late and powerless are not the same thing. Late capital still compounds if you give it consistent contributions and time. The first 3 years of your 10-year rule are not about chasing high investment returns. They are about stabilizing your foundation so compounding has something to stand on. Step 1 is financial clarity. List your income sources, your fixed expenses, your variable spending, and every debt, especially high-interest credit cards or personal loans. Step 2 is leak reduction. You intentionally cut or redesign expenses that give you very little life satisfaction, but quietly steal a lot of cash flow each month. Step 3 is safety. You build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of essential expenses so that every unexpected bill does not force you to raid your investment accounts. Only then do you lock in automatic monthly contributions into simple vehicles like diversified index funds or target date retirement funds. Even if the amount feels small, it matters. During years 1 through 3, your brain will complain that the balance is not impressive and that it is too late anyway. Your job is to ignore that voice and measure success by one thing. Did the transfer happen this month? You are building behavior, not bragging rights. Those habits are the real asset that will drive your long-term wealth building, tax planning, and financial freedom. Let me anchor this in a real case. A friend of mine, let's call him Mark, came to me at 46. 2 kids, a mortgage, lingering credit card debt, and almost no invested assets. He felt like a complete failure at money. His net worth was basically zero, and every retirement calculator he tried told him he was finished. We built a 10-year compounding plan. For the first year and a half, it was uncomfortable. Mark cut a few status expenses, refinanced a loan to reduce interest, redirected small bonuses toward debt repayment, and set up a modest automatic contribution into a broad index fund every month. At the end of year 2, he was disappointed. The balance was growing, but not enough to feel safe. He wanted to pause contributions and look for a faster investment strategy. He didn't let himself spiral. Instead, he returned to the rule: do not evaluate anything before year 7. So he moved into phase 2. He focused on increasing his income, negotiated a promotion, and raised his contributions every year. By year 7, the shift was unmistakable. The growth from his investments in a single year exceeded the amount he added. At 56, he wasn't wealthy, but he had a solid retirement base, no high-interest debt, and the freedom to choose a less demanding role at work. That is the 10-year rule in practice. After the initial stabilization phase, years 4 to 7 are where you gradually turn up the volume on your wealth engine. The core idea is simple. You use your strongest remaining lever, which for most adults is income, not chasing exotic investments. You look for ways to increase earnings through skill upgrades, better positioning at work, switching to a higher-paying role, or adding a focused, sustainable side income stream. Every lifestyle upgrade competes with that goal, so you make deliberate choices instead of emotional ones. As your salary rises, you commit to increasing your savings rate and investment contributions, not letting everything disappear into lifestyle creep. For example, when income jumps by 10%, you might choose to send 5% directly into retirement accounts or your brokerage portfolio and keep 5% for quality of life improvements. During this phase, compounding starts to show its shape. Your account balance begins to move faster, and market returns have a more visible impact on your net worth. This is often when investors get tempted by complex investment products or advanced stock market strategies. Resist that urge. The power here is not sophistication, it is scale and consistency. You keep feeding the system that is already working. By the time you reach years 8, 9, and 10, something profound can happen if you have stayed committed. The annual growth of your investments can start to exceed the new money you are adding. That is the moment when compound interest becomes undeniable and your past discipline transforms into present momentum. Emotionally, this phase can be tricky. You may feel relief and pride, but also the temptation to dramatically upgrade your lifestyle or to take big risks now that you finally have a real portfolio. This is where identity matters. You are no longer the person scrambling to catch up. You are the owner of a wealth system. Your job moves from building it to protecting it. And to make this journey effortless, we are building the Trip to Wealth Command Center, a Google Sheets system that brings your income, spending, investing, and net worth together in one place. It is your personal strategy hub designed to expose money leaks, highlight growth opportunities, and show how small decisions compound into real wealth. Join the early access list below and secure a discount as an early supporter. Every wealth system needs a strategy. This is where yours begins. With a clear dashboard and a disciplined 10-year rule, your final years of compounding can be managed with calm rather than anxiety. To keep your 10-year plan intact, you need strong guardrails. Guardrail 1, no catch-up gambling. You do not increase risk just because you started late. Taking on speculative stock market bets, leveraged real estate, or complicated derivative strategies can blow up years of disciplined work. Guardrail 2, systems over willpower. You design your financial life so that good behavior happens automatically. Retirement contributions, bill payments, savings transfers, and even extra debt payments are automated. You reduce the number of decisions you have to make under stress. which lowers the chance of sabotage when markets are volatile or life gets emotional. Guardrail 3. Define your enough number. You take time to calculate roughly what you need for a secure, modest, good life. Housing, healthcare, food, utilities, some travel, and a buffer. Once you have that target, you stop borrowing other people's goals or chasing online images of wealth. These guardrails protect your risk management, your mental health, and your long-term financial planning, so your 10-year rule survives both market downturns and emotional storms. Now let's redefine the metric that actually matters: what winning looks like in real financial architecture. When you hear phrases like financial independence or early retirement, your brain might picture tropical beaches and total freedom from work. For most late starters, that is not the real finish line, and that is okay. Winning after a decade of compounding looks more grounded and, in many ways, more powerful. It might look like being 55 or 60 with a solid six-figure portfolio, no high-interest debt, a manageable or nearly paid-off mortgage, and a clear retirement plan. It might look like being able to downshift into part-time work without fear, because your investments and savings can support the gap. It could mean being able to help your children or aging parents in emergencies without destroying your financial security. You may still wish you had started earlier, but regret will no longer be driving your decisions. Instead, you will feel something much rarer: calm. That calm comes from knowing you turned a chaotic money life into a predictable, rule-based system. That is quiet wealth. Not flashy, not viral, but deeply valuable. Let us turn this into a simple checklist you can act on immediately. Step 1. Gather your numbers. List all income, all debts, all recurring expenses, and your current savings and investments. Step 2. Stabilize. Build an emergency fund, even if it starts with just a few $100s, and attack any high-interest debt with a clear repayment plan. Step 3. Choose your core investment vehicles. For most people, that means tax-advantaged retirement accounts plus a simple portfolio of low-cost index funds or broadly diversified funds. Step 4. Automate your contributions. Pick an amount that slightly stretches you but is still realistic, and set it to leave your account every month without you touching it. Step 5. Schedule future reviews. Decide right now that you will not obsessively check balances every week. Instead, set formal review points at the end of year 1, year 3, year 7, and year 10 to adjust contributions or strategy if needed. Step 6. Protect your attention. Avoid constant financial news and hype content that triggers fear or greed. You are building a decade, not a day trade. That is how you convert this video from information into a real rule-based wealth plan. Standing where you are right now, it is easy to see only the years you lost and the compounding you never had. But the 10-year compounding rule is an invitation to reclaim the decade in front of you, not to relive the ones behind you. The key ideas are simple but powerful. First, accept that the early years feel slow and stay anyway. Second, commit to a boring automated system instead of chasing shortcuts. Third, use your adult advantages, higher income, better judgment, clearer goals, to fuel consistent investing rather than emotional spending. Fourth, protect yourself with guardrails. No catch-up gambling, automated behavior, and a clear definition of enough. If you give one decade of your 40s or 50s to this, your 60s and 70s can feel radically different. You may not end up as the richest person in your circle, but you can absolutely become the calmest, the most stable, and the one whose financial life finally makes sense. That is worth fighting for. Let us recap and bring this down to earth. You learned that feeling 15 years behind does not mean you have no moves left. It just means you need a different rule. The 10-year compounding rule asks you to stabilize your finances, automate simple investing, grow your income, and stay committed long enough for compounding to overtake your effort. Start by facing your numbers without shame, then build a small safety buffer, choose clear investment vehicles, and lock in monthly contributions. Protect yourself with guardrails and ignore the urge to judge your progress in the first few years. Begin tiny if you must, but begin. Consistency, not perfection, is what turns this from another finance video into a decade that actually changes your net worth, your retirement options, and your peace of mind. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice. It is important to conduct thorough research and consult with financial professionals before making any investment decisions. The value of investments can fluctuate, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Always assess your risk tolerance and investment goals before allocating your capital. If you found value today, the 10-year compounding rule, I highly recommend watching my next video. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to leave your comment below, especially if this video made you think differently. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.